This is probably a video that I should have done long ago, right when the game first came out, but better late than never. If you're all out there struggling with how to read a defense, if you're online, you're playing against all these comp gamers or these competitive gamers that know all the tricks, tips, ins and outs to Madden, and they're just completely obliterating you and you can't figure them out defensively. They're just picking you off left and right, sacking you left and right, etc., etc. That's what this video is for. I'm going to show you how to read a defense in Madden 26. And again, this is another one of those videos that I do every year. And it goes for anybody who might not have ran across my videos that might be seeking out this information. That's what this is for. I'm going to show you the basic principles on how to read a defense in Madden. This is not going to be in-depth. I'm going to do a more in-depth video later on about certain situations as far as match coverage, etc., etc. This is just going to be basic information that's going to go a long way for those who don't know how to read a defense or diagnose a defense. This is going to help you out. So we're going to go ahead. Let's see, what defense do I want? Let's use 3-3 over. I'm going to come out in, let's see, do I have a cover 2 man in this one? Yeah, I do. Before I pick that, okay, so I got cover 1, I got cover 4, I got cover 3. Oh, perfect. I got everything I need right here. All right, so we're going to come out in cover 2 in this one. That's not going to be what we start off on, what I'm going to describe to you, but we're going to start with cover 2. And I'm going to pick, we'll pick shock wide receiver. All right, so I'm going to audible to, let's see, Tampa 2. So we'll audible to Tampa 2. So out the gate, you can see this is what Tampa 2 looks like. So Tampa 2 or not Tampa 2, my apologies, cover 2. Cover 2 and cover 4 are going to look almost identical. You judge the defense, or you determine the defense based off of your safety's alignment. If you have 2 safeties deep, you know it's either cover 2 or it's cover 4. If you have 1 safety deep, you know it's either cover 3 or cover 1. So the difference between cover 2 and cover 4, they look identical because you have 2 safeties deep. The difference is the depth of the cornerbacks. If it's cover 2, the cornerbacks are going to be aligned about 5 yards off of the wide receivers, as you can see pictured right here. If it's cover 4, they're going to be aligned about 4 yards off of the wide receiver. So you can see this. We're in a cover 2 right here. You have the 2 safeties deep, and you have the 2 corners on the outside. They're lined up 5 yards off of the wide receiver. Now watch what happens when we audible to cover 4. Now you see we still have the 2 safeties deep, but those 2 corners on the outside drop back to about 10 yards off the wide receiver. So if you see this just like this, you know it's either a cover 4 or a cover 2. And if you want to determine exactly what it is or what it should be, just look at the distance the cornerbacks are off of the wide receivers. If they're 10 yards off the wide receiver, it's cover 4. If they're 5 yards, it's cover 2. Now, for cover 1. Cover 1, you're going to have 1 safety deep, and all the corners are going to be aligned up over the wide receivers. Cover 3 is going to look just like it. The only difference is the slot corners will move, or the slot DBs will move a little bit, and the linebackers will adjust a little bit. But nonetheless, as you can see, they look pretty much identical. Those corners on the outside don't really adjust too much. But stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can tell if they're in man or if they're in a zone defense. But as you can see, cover 1 or cover 3 and cover 1 has 1 safety deep, and the corners on the outside, they play about 10 yards off the wide receiver. We'll go back to cover 1. As you can see, those corners and the safety did not move. The linebackers adjusted and the slot DB adjusted. So now I'm going to get into something else intricate, which is how you can tell just based off of the DB's alignment in press exactly what defense your opponent is in. Now, at this point is where things are going to get a little different than they were in prior years in these tutorials. It's going to be different from my college football 26 tutorial that I did not long ago. And it's going to be different than my how to read a defense in Madden tutorials in prior years. Because for some reason, they changed something up, and you're going to see that here soon. If you have seen my college football 26 tutorial on how to read a defense, you're going to notice the difference. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come out and cover 4. So if your opponent is in a cover 4 defense and they press, when you look, you'll see the DBs are aligned standing over the top of the receivers, the outside receivers, that is. So in prior years, you would see this same setup for cover 4 and cover 3. And not even prior years, just in college football 26, when I did this tutorial, it worked. Cover 4 and cover 3, they were the same thing. When you press, they would be lined up over the top of the defenders. But watch what happens when we audible towards a cover 3. So we audible towards cover 3 and we press. And as you can see, those DBs are aligned to the inside shoulder of the wide receivers versus being standing over the top. So in college football 26, in cover 4 and cover 3, when you press, the DBs align over the top of the wide receiver, straight over the top. No outside shoulder, no inside shoulder, straight over the top. But this year, cover 4, which will audible back to that, cover 4 is the only one that they align standing straight over the top. Cover 3 and cover 1 do the exact same thing now. So now, if your opponent comes out and they press, chances are they're in a cover 1 or they're in a cover 3 if the DBs are aligned to the inside shoulder of the wide receiver. As you can see right here, we're in a cover 3 zone. The DBs are aligned to the inside shoulder of the wide receivers. Now we're going to go ahead and audible towards a cover 1 hole, and we'll press, and you'll see the same setup. Those DBs are aligned to the inside shoulder of the wide receiver. So a little bit different in prior years and a little bit different from college football 26. So in prior years in college football 26, like I said, in cover 4 and cover 3, the DBs would be aligned over the top. Cover 1, they would be aligned to the inside shoulder, and cover 2, they would be aligned to the outside shoulder like this. I'll go ahead, since I mentioned that and didn't show it, I'll go ahead and show that. So if they're in a cover 2 and they press, the DBs will be aligned to the outside shoulder. So that's how you can tell what defense your opponent is in. If they're in cover 4, again, we'll go from the top. If they're in cover 4 and you press, the DBs will be aligned standing straight over the top of the receivers. If they are in a cover 1 or a cover 3 and you press, the DBs will be aligned to the inside shoulder of the wide receivers. And for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and do cover 3 again too. So you can see inside shoulder. And cover 2, they will be aligned to the outside shoulder of the DBs. And one last thing before we get out of here, and I flip side so I can go ahead and show you this demonstration from the offensive point of view. I don't have 2 controllers in my hand right now. I got my one. So I went ahead and I flipped sides. So if you're still having trouble diagnosing the defense with everything that I've shown you already in this video, the most easy way to diagnose a defense from the offensive perspective is if you're looking at it, you simply send a outside receiver in motion. If that DB that's covering them follows them across the field, they're in man coverage. If he stays there and somebody else picks up that wide receiver as he's going across the field, you know they're in zone. So right now I have the Buffalo Bills in a zone, and you're going to tell because I'm going to go ahead and send Wilson in motion. And as you can see, no DB followed him. They just made a slight adjustment. That DB on that side in the slot came up. Nobody followed him. That means they're in a zone. So now the defense is in man, and we're going to send Garrett Wilson in motion and watch what happens with that DB. He follows him straight across the field. It's because it's in man coverage. So once you learn all of these aspects of the game, you can use this to your advantage when you're facing competitive gamers or gamers that constantly play online that are used to all these nuances and things of the game. So if you have certain plays that you have designed to beat a cover 2 man, then go ahead and do this So you can see if they're in a cover 2 man and you can audible to that play. If you have a play designed to beat cover 4, if you have multiple plays designed to beat cover 3, simply use these tactics that I just demonstrated to you in this video, and it will help you beat those different coverages and formation. If you found this video useful at all, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more Madden 26 content, whether it be tips, tricks, tutorials, other content, you name it, we'll have it here. And we're so close to 4K subs. Let's try to push to get 4K subs before the end of the year. As always, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time.